4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married Into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
I'm Lovey, and we thank you for coming back as we always do every single week. It's been a long run. We've been doing this since 2018. For those of you that are new to the Married Into Crazy podcast, we've been married for...
It will be 28 years in January.
Coming up. That sounds so dry. It'll be 28 years.
I feel like I was answering a question on a talk show.
She's like, I've come
That's
before
my
the
final
parole
answer.
board to find out.
Wow, really?
That's how you made it sound.
No, I just said literally. I felt like I was answering a question from a game show. You answered. That's my final answer.
So we've been, and this is what it's been like for 28 years. We had some rough patches. We almost got divorced. There was, I'm not just saying almost. I mean,
Is that like doesn't considered rough, or is that like terrain, or I don't know what is it? Rough terrain?
Oh, some off-roading. Definitely did some off-roading where it was
not
like
a rough patch. That is,
there was no road. There was nothing but rocks. But we made it. And because of that, we tried to put something together that we needed when we were going through that period in our lives, that dark period in our marriage. And because we couldn't find certain things, we decided, hey, why don't we stand in the gap and be those individuals that we needed at that time? Mm-hmm. Which is why we first started the podcast. Then we moved into coaching. And now we're doing so many other things. As a matter of fact, save the date.
Save the dates.
Yes.
Plural.
February 7th and 8th.
Yep.
2025.
Yep.
It is official that we are kicking off the Married Into Crazy.
First annual.
Married Into Crazy Winter Ball and Marriage Conference. So we're going to be having some great speakers. Mm-hmm. Contracts are signed. The band is on board. Live music, y'all. We're talking Friday night, live music. Banquet. Sit down, dress up, have a great time, dance to a live band. We're going to set the mood Friday night and then move into Saturday, the 8th. This is the beginning of Marriage Week. So don't you want to get your week started correctly leading up to Valentine's Day? This is how we're going to do it every single year. And on that Saturday, we have 5 speakers that are going to be pouring into your marriage, into your relationship. If you're married, hey, this is going to be somebody that might be able to give you a few nuances that you hadn't considered before, or something you forgot and thought, oh, need to re-implement. If you're not quite married yet, but you're on that path or would like to be, it's going to be a great opportunity to come, have a great time, be around marriage-minded individuals, because we always talk about how you have to develop that marriage mindset long before you ever say I do.
And these people that are speakers, the people that are going to be there, they are they're not just they are amazing, but they're not just they're married, but you wouldn't know it. You know, these are people who edify marriages. They edify their partners. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time, and we just want to see you guys come.
Yep, absolutely. So soon and very soon, within the next 2 weeks from the time that you're hearing this, well, I don't know when you're going to listen to it, but from this particular date, the website should be solidified. Everything should be in place so you can start getting your tickets. And we made a command decision today. I'm not going to say what it is, but we are going to run an early bird special for the first 50 couples. Okay. And we'll announce that when the time is right.
I think we should, I don't know.
No, not yet. Okay. No, there's got to be a little bit of build up.
I said okay.
We're building up. Look, we've been looking at Denzel for months, leading up until this Gladiator 2. And she went out and bought the tickets today. So I know that there's something to this whole build-up thing, but it's going to be amazing. So it is going to be the Married Into Crazy Winter Ball and Marriage Conference. Don't miss it. Keep an eye out. We're going to come to you via social media, this podcast, a variety of different ways to make sure that you're in the house.
Again, February 7th and 8th, 2025.
kick off marriage week the right way.
Kick off
So
like football.
speaking of, okay, so we talk about all things marriage here on the podcast.
Oh, is it we gonna talk football? Okay, go.
No, we're not talking football. If we do, we talk Steelers because Russell came out and showed up, showed out. Anyway, we're not going to go there right now. So here's the thing. I haven't said that in a while. Here's the thing. I like to watch different clips that are marriage related or relationship related on Instagram, on TikTok, anything social media. You know, I'm not really, every now and then there's some comedy, but a lot of it is around relationships and how to actually enrich others. Came across this particular interview. It was a clip between Trevor Noah and Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is extremely well known for his TED Talks. He's well known for his New York Times bestsellers. And they were having a sit-down discussion regarding the burden that we place on our relationships. Meaning, prior to COVID,
I'm all expound.
prior to COVID, we had the great majority of people had a vast or expanded network of individuals that they were able to get their needs met. So one of the examples that Simon Sinek used was that people went to church to get that spiritual itch scratched, if you will. People went to bowling leagues or softball teams to get that social scratch itch. You had barbecues with your neighbors. You had your coworkers or, business mates, whatever you want to call them. You had these individuals, and each one of these people fulfilled a specific need within your relationship. It's almost like hierarchies or Maslow's hierarchy of needs to a certain extent. But instead of actually looking at the hierarchy of needs, we're talking about the hierarchy of fulfillment when it came to feeling certain things. But the challenge was that after COVID or during COVID, and ever since then, those outside influences or outlets have collapsed or gone away. So then we started placing all of these needs on one individual. Simon Sinek talked about it from the standpoint of all of these needs now fell upon the workplace. So you went to work expecting them to be your social friends. You expected them to be your political friends. You expected them to be your, all these different things, spirituality, all these different things. Look, you've had more people talking about spirituality in the workplace in the last, since like 2021, 2022, more than ever before in history. A lot of people have talked about this. There've been in documentaries. There's been a lot of things. But I think a lot of it's because everyone's now placing it in one place. Trevor Noah, on the other hand, was talking about relationships, that we're doing the exact same thing with our love interests. We're taking all of these other, what used to be other outlets, and placing them firmly on the shoulders of our spouse or our significant others. And there's a level of expectation there that both of them thought is absolutely unfair. And I wanted to have that as our topic for this evening and ask you, do you, Snooks, and everybody listening, do you feel like you've been placing, first off, do you find any validity to that discussion?
Yep. I think it's unfair that I got to cook. I got to clean.
She got to do all the things.
I got to do all the things.
She got to do all the things.
No, seriously though, it makes sense. From the standpoint of what the expectation is of what expectation are you putting on your partner? So for like you didn't kind of, but what you said was most people have these different outlets, social, spiritual, work, whatever it is. They have different friend network groups. I know a lot of people that have different friend network groups. Some are workout friends, some are drink friends, some, at work or let's go brunch or whatever it is. There's a lot of people who actually have that. And I'm trying to imagine some of those people with the the working out, and hiking is a workout too, and all of that, and they're expecting their partner to do all of those things. That would drive their partner crazy if they weren't into the same thing.
But I mean, if you think about it, and again, I know that we're 3 years removed from
From
COVID.
COVID.
But I was like, come on, babe, let's go. We're working out. Dragged her out to the pickleball court. Then it was like, let's go for walks around the block. She hates the outdoors, or did. I'm learning. She's changing. But it was
I
like,
still do. Yeah.
but it was like she would go for a walk. We tried working out together. That was a fiasco.
We will never ever work out together. I mean, I'm
That was
just
a
keeping it
fiasco.
real. That had nothing to do with COVID. That has everything to do with Lovey being bossy.
Everything to do with
and
her
trying
having
to
bad
tell
form.
me about my form.
You ain't supposed to arch your back like that. No,
So,
it's fine.
can you should go down lower. So anyway, yeah. But I do believe that it is an unfair expectation to expect that one person will meet all of your needs. I don't know how realistic that is.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's like you can't be the Apostle Paul, right? You can't try and be all things to all people because you will fall short. Look, it's hard enough just being the husband or just being the wife, coming home and just being able to feel the need of, I need somebody to talk to that I can trust. That can be difficult at times. Then there's the, oh, wait, you need me to be your therapist. Oh, wait, and your nursemaid. Oh, okay, wait. Oh, hold on. Now I'm your minister as well. Now we're in the confessionary. Okay, you need me to do. Oh, wait, I'm the cook as well. Okay, on top of that, and the cleaning person. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I'm also the caregiver for the children. Oh, wait, hold on. But you want to play now? You want to go outside and play? Okay, so I got to go play with you. Oh, wait, it's hike time. Oh, okay. So now it's like, now you want to go out and have a drink. So I got to do that too. And it's like all these things. So I get it now when I tell Snooks like, hey, I'm going out fishing with Raj and Anthony. And you're like, oh, be gone. Okay.
I'm like, have fun.
See ya. Deuces.
I mean, because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. But now, so like I started going back out to dinners with like two of my oldest friends. Like every quarter we say, okay, we're going to get together. We call it GQ, right? Grandparents quarterly. And we're going to go with Neen and Raj. And we decide, okay, we're going to meet. And Rhonda's like, see ya, go on. But she just went to a marriage.
Do it
coach.
like that though.
No,
like
you're not that bad. No.
no.
No. But I think we have recognized that there is a need for you to have, like adjacent, I don't want to say relationships, but would you call it an adjacent relationship?
I just feel like some away time. I'll just put it like that. I say away time because I don't do all of the things that like you do with your friends and stuff. I don't be like, oh yeah, let's, every now and then I'll go have brunch with someone, or we might say we're gonna hang out, or what. I just don't do that, in partly because of school and the stressors that I have right now, and the time and the amount of time that I have right now, I just don't have it. I don't have the capacity to do that. But I'm trying to think back. Did I ever do that? I was never really. It's every now and then for me. But for Lovey, we're totally different people. I welcome him. Go ahead, go. Because he needs that social interaction. I'm not the most sociable person, and I feel like he needs that way more than I do. I'm more the introvert in the relationship. He's more the extrovert. So him going out, that's filling his cup up. That's meeting his need. If it was him dragging me along to do it always, it would probably end in catastrophe, because number one, I'm tired. Number two, I don't want to go like that. And then you want me to talk to the people while I'm out?
Like, why is your wife so quiet?
Oh my gosh.
How come? Does she not like us?
I used to get that too. I mean, he would get that, be like, oh, she doesn't talk much. She's very quiet. I would literally I'm just going to keep my head down in some places because I don't want to make eye contact, because I don't want to have a conversation about whatever. I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to be comfortable in my space. So that would not work well for our relationship.
No, it's very real. I mean, so how about you guys out there listening? Take inventory. Have you noticed that some of the roles or expectations have shifted to where you're placing more and more on the shoulders of your loved one, and maybe it's happened and you're like, and it's been a great thing. And both of you love it. Like, oh my God, we should have did this years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But has it also gone the opposite direction? Because it can be both a positive and negative. There's positive and negative tension that can do different things. Sometimes we need positive tension. It's like, you know what? I needed that inspiration or that nudge to do something a little bit different. And that's a positive thing. But if it's like you were talking about where you're getting dragged into events, situations that you don't necessarily want to be a part of, that could be a challenge.
It's just funny to me because I remember always feeling like I had to go. And then one year I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pick and I'm going to choose. And I even felt bad about having that, that was my thing. Nope. I'm only going to go to a few. So you better pick the most important ones. Kind of like I said, kind of felt bad about it until I met Courtney Muhammad. Court said, Terrell got 2, maybe 3 tops. Pick them and let me know which ones I need to go to. And that's what I'm going to go to. So.
No, and you know what? And it's great because then it gives me the opportunity to be extremely selective about what's most impactful for our relationship. And it has me also looking for events, opportunities that would be more appealing to both of us. Mm-hmm. It's not just something that appeals to me because let's just be honest. You could put me in a room with my shadow and I'll have a great time. Look, me and my shadow, we could talk about some stuff and come out of a time about, that was the best time ever. We need to do this again.
And he never interrupted me.
Or, my shadow's like, he just talk all day. But it did force me to be a little bit more selective. But think about it. Is that something that has happened in your relationship? And if so, how do you deal with it? Mm-hmm. So you talk about how, be selective. 1 to 2 things. When it came to that, but let me ask you, when it comes to do you think I place other things on your shoulders when it comes to having to fulfill that need? Do you think
transparency here? Not anymore. I feel like we've grown and we've evolved to where we both recognize that might not be a good thing to ask. That might not be, maybe I should just fall back on this one. And then for myself, I'm like, okay, I could get outside of my comfort zone. Because I won't say I always, but, we know our partners. And there's a lot of times where I feel like there's going to be an ask coming on and he doesn't ask. But I know he wants to say something or whatever. So in my growth, I've been like, hey, is that something that you would like to do? And his response is typically, yeah, I thought about it, but, I didn't want to make you feel like you had to, whatever. So I'm like, I'm good. Well, let's do it. Okay. So, well, what about your school? He's always making sure is school taken care of because I don't want to infringe on school time. So I feel like we've found our ebb and flow, our groove when it comes to those type of things, knowing when you need that and when I need that.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because immediately one of the most impactful things that has happened, one of the most positive impactful things that's happened in the last 6, 7, 8 years was a direct result of you doing that, of you asking. I feel an ask coming on, but let me just ask and
You're talking
see.
About the take control.
August 2018. August 2018. That's when this whole process began. That's when the podcast began. It was conceptualized on the drive back from San Francisco. That's when we met Eric Thomas for the very first time. E.T.'s become a friend over the years, but it was crazy. We went. She knew I listened to the podcast.
He listened to the podcast every single day, and whenever we got in the car, the kids and I, we always felt like, oh, we're held hostage because we got to listen to this podcast, And I kind of started getting into it. Number one, because CJ used to make me laugh a lot, and I was like, who is this? He's like, yeah, this is Secrets of Success. And so I started listening to it on my own. And then when they started talking about they were going to be in San Francisco, I was waiting for Levy to bring it up, but he never said anything. So I started investigating, and I was like, I bet you he wants to go, but he's just not saying anything. So I just said, hey, do you want to go? He was like, hey,
It was like
I want to go.
Christmas in August. I think she asked me in July. I was like, it was like
Yep,
Christmas
it's
in July.
July.
Because I was like, are you serious? Because I wanted to ask, but I was like, nope, you better not ask. And not because there's a fear, but it was just because, like she said, I was dragging her into all kinds of things in the past. And so I thought, you know what? Nah, I'll pass on this one. But when she asked, it changed everything. Changed the people that I hung around with.
I didn't think about that.
It changed. I have a unit. Like, let's a perfect example today. Went to go meet with, went to the venue for the marriage conference. Wanted to meet with the band leader so she can actually get eyes and ears on the venue itself to get an idea of how much or how little they needed to do for sound as well as their the lighting. Folks, y'all need to come because it's going to be full on production. It's amazing. Anyway, we're talking, we're going through our meeting, we're sitting down, and then when we go outside, we just start chopping. It was my first time meeting her, other than being on the phone. And she's like, you reminded me of somebody. And I thought, oh, and she goes, the angle you were standing at, I was like, oh my God, is that Eric Thomas? And I thought, how do you know E.T.? And we got in this conversation, and she doesn't know E.T., but she was like, I know somebody that really introduced me to his podcast, and she's traveled with him, she's done different things, and she was talking about Eva Palacios. Eva Palacios, who is going to be a speaker at our marriage conference, is a personal friend. I met Eva through E.T. We were all in the same community. It was me and Eva and her. And I was referred to this band director by the one and only $1 Million voice, Ashlyn Cole, who is not talking at the conference, but she's a very close friend. We met through Eric Thomas. Mm-hmm. And we have this amazing network of family. I'm not even going to call them friends. We've got an amazing network of family that we've all come up with. And it all began because Snooks took the time to ask about something that she didn't think she thought I wanted, but wasn't quite sure. And I was pulling back on, and it changed everything. Even to this day. And we didn't even know, like today, like Melissa and I had no idea that we had these overlaps. And it just goes to show you the power of being around the right people.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny, and this has nothing to do with our subject, but just kind of listening to you talking, Eva, Ashling, and so many others that have come up around during the 20. I'll just think about the 2019 Reno.
Oh,
so it reminds me though of a group of people who got together and they all made it big, and they're sitting around at a table and talking about their journeys, about how they, it's like I have that vision in my head for the 2019 folk that you still rock with, because there are other people that you still keep in touch with.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of,
And it's crazy. And everyone has grown so much dramatically. Mm-hmm. And even people there are people on the other side of the country that, I feel so close to and may have only met physically once or twice, if at all. There's some individuals that I've never met in person, but if I'm going through some stuff, I'm picking up the phone and calling them. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. But I know we're kind of sidestepping the subject matter a little bit, but I think it was powerful to be able to talk about how those individuals feel a need as well, to where when I want to talk about planning, and Snooks is overwhelmed with school, and she's got to go to her internship, and she's got a caseload of patients that she's seeing, and then has to come home after being at work all day, going to see a caseload of patients, then coming home and still having to finish a paper. There's times when she's not coming to bed till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning just to get up and do it all over again. When she comes home, it's unfair of me to expect her to be like, hey, babe, I have this other idea for the conference, or this is what I was thinking about for the podcast, or, hey, don't forget, we have to meet with the couple that we're coaching on at this time, or whatever. There's other individuals that unfair? I need. Huh?
Is unfair?
I didn't say that. Did I say that? I might have said that. But it's unfair of me to actually put all that on their shoulders. There are people that I can call that part of my committee. Like, I have an assistant that's all the way over in Michigan. I can every 2 weeks. I touch bases with her, and we're sharing things. We're talking about things. Snooks used to be in these meetings, but I'm able to bounce, and they're trusted individuals that I can bounce these things off of. So it helps tremendously. Shout out to Sandra Ray, and and Get It Done coaching, and it's one of those things where you need those individuals. It's true. I'm just going to go so far as to say that it is unfair for you to place all of your expectations in one basket.
I was about to say, it's like placing all your eggs in one basket. People will tell you not to do that. But the other, you said something earlier, trusted individuals. You can't just, you can, I guess, if you're looking for some negativity to happen or catastrophe to happen, don't just grab anybody just to fill that need. Make sure that the people that you surround yourself with are vetted. They are involved in something positive going on in their lives also, and they're down for your marriage, because you don't want to start talking blah blah blah, running your mouth, doing and excluding your partner with someone who is actually trying to take you away from your partner. I don't mean opposite sex person. I don't mean it has to be a boyfriend, a girl who's trying to get at you, or boys trying to get at you. It could be someone who just wants you for you, because they need that and they don't have that in their life. So, oh girl, he ain't never around anyway, so I don't know why you even worried about. Come kick it with me, man. Why again, man? Come on, what's she doing? Just come hang out with us. And then that starts to put a wedge in between your spouse and yourself, which can be detrimental to your relationship.
Absolutely. So you have to be very discretionary about where you spend your time, right? Don't put it all on the shoulders of your spouse or your significant other, but B, be very cognizant of where you do place some of those expectations and responsibilities, because it is a responsibility. You can't just go. I'm not talking about go and tell your business to everybody, but I am saying that, like you said, have trusted advisors. The King's Accountability Group that I belong to, and we mentioned them several times. It's a group that we talk heavily about having, your Fab Five, having those 5 individuals that you're going to surround yourself with, that you will be able to glean from, learn from, have mentorship, but also provide accountability. And it goes both ways. It's a two-way street. Because at the end of the day, quite honestly, you've heard it since you were a child, that if you look at you will either gravitate to or fall to the level of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And that accounts for those individuals that you want to spend time with. So what I'm talking about is, if you're not going to be with your wife, make sure that the 5 individuals, or your spouse, the 5 individuals that you have yourself surrounded with, make sure they're trustworthy. Make sure they're the type of individuals that your spouse wants you to be around. Right? And judge yourself accordingly. I should say, not judge yourself accordingly.
Carry yourself
accordingly.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're around people who are going to you have accountability with. You can't just be like, if Lovey is doing something that's wrong, I know that CB would be like, man, what you doing? Or Terrell would be.
I got 60 men on my King's Accountability Group.
And one of them is my brother, so he better say something. But even some of those who are not there, Roger, Steve, they're not part of that, but they would check you.
Absolutely. All I have around me are people that would check me in a heartbeat, and I check them as well. We give each other the autonomy to, it's a loosely held leash, if you will, that if we see any of us, the way we talk, the way we act, the decisions, even financial stuff, what are you doing buying that or whatever, we yank on the chain a little bit. And that's expected. And for those of you that are saying, like, man, I don't need nobody yanking on my chain, this, that, and the other, you're the main one that needs accountability.
Right.
I'm just putting it out there.
And it's not a negative, it really is not a negative. And I'm thankful for these men that Lovey he's in an inner circle with. I'm very thankful because they are men of integrity. I approve of them. I don't approve of nobody. Not playing, but I like them. They're like little brothers to me, and so I'm not worried. I'm not concerned about when he's going out or he's on the phone with them. I never worry about, is he talking bad about me? When they do they have their own meetings that they do. He has another meeting, they get together, what have you. I'm never worried. I'm never worried. So those are the people that you want to make sure you are, if you're not with your spouse, that you're with someone who is like that, held to a high caliber,
Same thing. Snooks this past weekend was just at a women's conference. And I knew for a fact that she was going to be around really high level, dedicated individuals to their marriages. Like you had like Siobhan Powell, you had Lady Keisha, you had First Lady Delisa Swanigan, you had Donna McGee. I knew these women were there. And then she comes on, she had her mom there.
I had my mom.
Her cousin was there.
Yeah. First of all, I ain't doing nothing if Linda is with me, because Linda loves Lovey. I'll just put it like that.
As she should. As she should.
That's my son.
No, but and it's funny. But to come back invigorated, it's like your cup was refilled in ways that I could never fill it. Mm-hmm. And so we're back to the topic of there's things, and maybe that's a better way to state it, is that we're all looking to have our cups filled. Mm-hmm. But I think it's unfair to expect that our spouse is going to be the one that fills your cup, and 100%, all the time. There are multiple cups that can actually pour into your cup, mm-hmm. and it needs to be for variety, for perspective, for a variety of different things. And I think it's great that we do this. So we encourage you highly to make sure that you're not placing these unrealistic expectations on your spouse or your significant other to give you everything that you need. Mm-hmm. Yes, your cup needs to be filled. So that way you're giving from your saucer, not the cup, but the saucer, your overflow. But the only way your cup is ever truly going to be filled is if you're very, 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 I'm just going to use a word that people don't like, prejudiced about who is pouring into your cup. Mm. Prejudice isn't a bad word, depending upon the context in which it's used. In this manner, you need to have a very discretionary way, a prejudiced way, discriminatory way of picking who is going to pour into your marriage. And it needs to be those individuals that, or in your relationship, those individuals that add value. You need to make sure that they're pouring in clear water and not something that's tainted. If your water is clear when you go somewhere, you need to make sure that what they're pouring into you maintains that clarity. Don't let people pour in something that's going to make your vision opaque, and you can't see the things that you need to see that God intends you to see. And the only way that's going to happen is by surrounding yourself with the right people, keeping them around you, and being held accountable. Right? And one of the ways that you can actually do that is going to the Married into Crazy Winter Ball and Marriage Conference, to be around other like-minded couples that are there to lift up their marriage as well, and to have other people, speakers coming in like Eva Palacios, like I mentioned earlier, from Eva Empowers, nationally recognized credit coach, and she is amazing. So, and she's just one of many. We're gonna announce more individuals that are going to be speaking at the conference as well, as we continue this countdown until we make the absolute official day, open the gates and allow people. And we'll let you know when it's time to participate and buy your tickets, so you can be part of the first 50 to get that early bird pricing.
Yep, it's coming soon.
Soon and very soon. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you. Until the next time.
Be blessed.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.